Hello, I am Jan from Prague, the Czech Republic, and in this video I want to give you a quick tip about a feature that is easy to overlook in Canon's cameras, and yet it's great. It's a cloud service called Image.canon. It can do a remarkable and really handy thing. Automatically back up photos from your camera card to the cloud and upload them directly to, say, Google Drive, or download them to your computer. And it's completely free, so let's try it. Let me start with a quick summary for those who like to jump right into testing. The principle is really simple. First, you'll need to create an account for Image.canon and connect your Canon camera to Wi-Fi, either at your home or perhaps at a cafe on holidays. To connect, you'll also need to download a mobile app, which, as we will see, can also do many things. Once you've done that, your photos or even videos will back up to the cloud, where Canon will keep them for 30 days. For free, as we said. And there are many options for what to do with your photos, but I personally find one scenario most important. You can link Image.canon to, for example, Google Drive, where again automatically everything is transferred. Which for me means peace of mind during my travels. I will know that if the card fails or someone steals my camera, the photos will still be backed up somewhere. Let's see all this in greater detail. First, obviously, you need to establish connection between your camera and Wi-Fi. And it's done here in that part of menu. You just hit upload to Image.canon, then the system will ask you to download a mobile app and will show you a QR code, and it's basically easy, and within a couple of steps you'll get a chance to connect to either your personal home Wi-Fi network or pretty much any network you might wish. And that's it. At that moment, the photos will be sent to Canon's cloud and you can play further. Maybe just two more comments. There are only two settings you can play with in the menu. First way is that you are able to decide whether the photos should be sent automatically, meaning that you just once you get to the Wi-Fi coverage, they'll be just going to the cloud, or you can, as you can see here, make it manual. It means once you get home, you just hit the button and it goes directly where you want them to go. Then the second option is that you can define if you want to send only photos, only stills, or alternatively, you can ask the system to back up movies, which might be tempting, but obviously if you shoot in a high resolution, it'll be a lot of data. So this is quite important thing to consider. Let us jump to the desktop version. It's quite useful just to go through the main features. We have already mentioned them. Basically the key principle is that you can back up your cards, your photos. That's clear, that makes perfect sense. And Canon will keep them for 30 days. Then there is quite important and interesting feature that if you download a piece of software, you're able to send the photos directly to your computer. For me, the key principle can be seen here, and it's that I can forward them directly to other cloud services. And in my case, I would be just using Google Disk, which is amazing. But if you, for instance, are using any other like Google Photos or Lightroom, the cloud version of Lightroom obviously would be one of the choices. That is the key functionality. You can see the options here: Google Photos, Google Drive, YouTube, Adobe Lightroom, Frame, and Flickr. One more detail. Here at the bottom of the page, you can find a list of cameras which can be used with that service. Interestingly enough, you are able to use it even with power shots. So if, for instance, you would have one of these favorite pieces like PowerShot G7X Mark II or 3, you again will be able to play with this, which is really interesting. Now let's jump to the real thing here on desktop. Here are a couple of photos I have taken just a couple of minutes before, and the reason is obvious. I'll show you how amazingly they are being backed up to Google Disk. But let's just go through the main page. Again, nothing really special to find here. These numbers, like 30, mean that it's 30 days to the day when all these shots will be erased. Of course, there are more settings. Let's just check it. basically here, if you click on that little arrow, you see basic logic of the navigation. If you can click on any of these items, you'll be shown the list of photos to be deleted. What really matters a lot is that very specific, well, not album, but part, which is called 10 GB capacity, which means that this is a special folder into which you are able to upload shots which should not be deleted. To put it simple, if you hit that share button, you can see store in 10 GB storage, which if I hit, I suddenly can select what I want to select. So I can, for instance, select these flowers and I do done. And at that moment, the 30 days of expiration does not apply to these photos. So if I check it now, you can see all these pictures can be stored for a long, long time. I will probably not do this much, but it's important to know that it's there and that it works. At the same time, we should know that Canon strictly says that this is not a long time storage facility, and which one of the reasons why you will hit the limit very soon is that there is no possibility to buy extra space. So you have only 10 GB at the moment and you won't get more. Now, if I hit that little arrow here, we go to the key navigation key part where we are able to, yes, of course, add cameras, because again, you can use it with as many Canon cameras as you want, but mostly to connect your system to these services. It means Google Photos might be really handy. Google Drive, yes, that's it. We'll see it soon. YouTube, Adobe Photoshop Lightroom, Frame, and Flickr. And as you can see, I obviously prefer Google Drive. And if I just go back to all images, all these photos were taken just before I started recording this morning in my garden. And just even before I was able to walk these 10 meters, look what happened. Yes, if I open my Google Disk, all these shots are there, which is amazing. And once again, for me, that is the key feature. I would even say the only really important feature for me, because I don't really care much about the others, but the simple fact that I can go outside, shoot as many pictures as I want, and be sure that the Canon will just back it up and immediately set to my permanent storage sounds amazing for me, because it gives me peace of mind. So for me, that is number one reason why to play with this. One more feature which might be interesting for you is to add to album. And yes, there are some more albums, so we can create album flowers, for instance. We hit OK, and now we can just select what we want. So 1, 2, 3, add image, and now we have album flowers, albums. There are flowers, Pisa, and here we go. By the way, that little symbol here means that that is the special long-term storage. So this is going to go in 30 days. This will stay. And of course, you probably will not be surprised that by hitting that button down here, you are able to show EXIF data. So you are able very easily to see when the shot was taken and all these valuable information about the shot. One more stop we should do, and it's just to give a very brief introduction to the app. And again, I probably will not be using that much, but it's useful to see what is happening here. And again, of course, you have all these shots here and you can browse them, you can check them, you can get information about where it was shot and what are the key data. So this is quite useful. But what I liked really a lot is not maybe filtering here, but actions. And interesting action is to send via email. If I hit it, I have the option to check photos I'd like to send now to anybody with an email, and I select email address. Here is my email address. I hit send, and at that moment, these photos, the link to these photos is being sent to my address. Look at this. And here comes the link. So now if I hit that email, you'll see that there is a link to these photos which anybody can download. So for me, again, this would be really useful scenario because very often you need immediately after you take the shots the option to forward to RAWs, like here, to somebody. And I believe this is a really strong feature. And a part of this, there is nothing really special. You can just browse through the application. You have the option to decide and see how many shots are to be erased. Of course, you have that 10 GB capacity folder where you can check what is not to be destroyed, what is to be left untouched for some time or maybe indefinitely. And then you can set connecting web services, email addresses, and you can study albums. Really, nothing which you would not be able to discover by yourself. Eventually, what you can do is that you can hit that send to app, and you, as you would guess, have the option to forward it to WhatsApp or Facebook or, of course, Instagram or pretty much anything. But what really matters for me is the simple fact that anytime my camera connects to Wi-Fi, it sends, it backs up the photos to the cloud, and I do not have to be stressed that my pictures might be lost. So, thank you so much for your attention. I do wish your photos will always be safely backed up, and take care. I'm Jan from Prague, the Czech Republic.